Alright, so now what we're going to do is you're going to take one of your spoons and you're going to scoop a little bit onto the black paper. Now when you use the spoons, make sure you only put one spoon into one cup. Don't mix them in between.
Do you want me to switch over?
Sure. And if you look behind you, it's kind of an example of what you're doing.
Yep. Should I get some magnifying going?
So can anyone raise their hand and tell me what they see? How about you right up there, the polka dots?
Should yellow corn.
Wow, good job. Do you already see one of the powders in there? So can everyone tell me what that powder is that you see? Everyone just shout it out. Great job.
Yay.
So that's one of the powders in the cup already. We already figured it out just by looking at it. So next, we're going to add some water. Now, what you do is you just scoop some into an empty cup and add a few drops of water.
Okay. I'm switching back and forth so they can read it first.
Okay. Yeah, you can do it yourself. I'll have to tell you what to do.
Okay.
You got this.
Where's my water? Where's my water?
Another good idea you might want to do is take all the little plastic rings off your bottles, because after a while they come loose. There's just the little plastic rings under the caps. And if you drop one in your cup, don't worry about it.
I'll stir it, I guess.
Is everyone done it now?
Give them 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
These are slightly out my face.
Oh.
This is fun. Yeah.
Okay, so did anyone see some of the lighter powders in the cup just disappear when you added water? Yeah? And what powder did that leave in the end when you added water? Just left the yellow cornmeal, right? And did it turn a little bit goopy and gross looking?
Yeah.
And remember, you're allowed to poke it with the toothpicks if you want, just to feel how it feels. Don't touch it with your hands. Now, does anyone have any idea if it turned goopy, what that means? In the back with the gray shirt. Good job. So we can probably guess that it has gelatin in it now. And I think in the beginning you might have seen there's a lighter yellow powder. That's what gelatin looks like. So I'd say it's a good bet to say there's gelatin in there. Now let's do the same thing with vinegar and see what happens. Someone raise your hand when you do the reaction.
Do I, do they know that? Oh, I guess you just, I didn't read it.
I'm sure we'll catch it.
Okay. You know what? I was guessing. Oh, I got a new key. Ooh, this is the fun one. I take my stirring stick. I heard bubbly.
Okay, so what did it do? Well, I know what the answer is, and I know a lot of you want to say it. I'll just say it, sorry. But it fizzed, right?
Yeah.
Made bubbles. So, can you all tell me what powder that means? Good job. So there's baking soda in here. So what powders do we have in here now? Good job. Now we could keep going on and doing experiments, or we could just stop here. What do you guys want to do? Raise your hand if you want to do the rest of the experiments. Raise your hand if you don't. Okay, we'll do the rest of it. I was planning on it anyway. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with iodine and see what happens. And be very careful with the iodine.
I know. So cute. Ah, I want them all.
Schedule
Dude, that's great. We're on the gross side. It's blood clotting.
Okay, can anyone tell me what happened? In the blue long sleeve shirt. You say that it bubbled up and it turned red? Yeah, so when you add iodine to baking soda, it does a little bit too. It grows a little bit, it makes like a big bubble sometimes. It's kind of cool looking. It also turns deep red. So that kind of confirms that we know there's baking soda in there. So our final conclusion is, how many powders do we have? And which powders are they? I heard them all a lot of times, so I think you guys got it. So now we're going to move on to the next cup. What you guys can feel free to do is just take all the cups you already used, stack them inside each other, and put them off to the side when we move on to the next powder. Just make sure you're working on the paper towel.
Can I pour all this into one cup?
Sure.
Cool. I just want to make less of a mess as possible on this thing.
Right, is everyone good? Okay, so now we're going to do vial 1. There's a sticker with a 1 on it. This is the powder that we recovered from suspect 1, Iggy Azalea. So let's just take a look at it far away. Can anyone see any of the powders yet? How about the white up there? Yes. You can tell that there's yeast in there because it's probably the easiest to see. It's like little brown cylinders. Does anyone have any clue what the other powder is? Okay, well, we're going to hold off a second to see why. Because I know you got it right. So, if you want, you can look at it on black paper with a magnifying glass, and we'll be able to see the yeast more up close. Can anyone see what the yeast looks like up close now? Looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yes.
Alright, is everyone ready to move on? Okay. If you fall behind, don't worry about it, because a lot of these, we probably know what the powders are already anyway.
I just like it.
Okay, so let's add some water in a separate cup to the powders.
Do you have your water?
I put it somewhere.
Feel free to
I do have my water.
go home.
No. Oh, I like the anything.
Okay, so what happened? Yes. The water bounced off. Something like that. What you'll also notice is that there will be yeast floating on top of the water. It's really easy to see yeast when you add the liquid in because it floats on like everything. So now we'll move on and we will do vinegar.
Just enough buzz and chatter in the back of the room. I think so your voice isn't quite strong enough to command you. And that's why I'm asking you to speak up. Just
Thanks.
You're doing great. I've never heard you talk that loud.
Have a microphone.
You know what? I don't. I did it again.
Did anything exciting happen with vinegar?
Sure did.
All I remember seeing is just the yeast floating pretty much. It got a little cloudy, something like that. Okay, so now we can add the iodine. And this will tell us for sure what our last powder is, I think. Okay, what color did it change? It was like a dark, maybe kind of red. Does anyone know what that means? If you have a white powder that looks like that and it's dark red? Someone want to raise their hand and tell me what powder we have? How about you? Good job. So we have powdered sugar in the cup, right? So does anyone think we have another powder in there, or do you think we're good? Raise your hand if you think we're good. That's good, because we are. So all that we saw in there was yeast and powdered sugar, right? Cool. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have an answer sheet that you can feel free to fill out next to you that has all the like powder names you can fill out. But you're not going to have to turn it in or anything, so don't worry about it. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to number 2. Is everyone ready? Raise your hand if you're ready. Okay, we're going to look at the powders that we recovered from suspect number 2, Charlie XCX. So, what do you guys see when you look from it far away? In the pink bag? See yellow cornmeal? I'd say that's a good answer because that's one of the powders that's in there. Yellow cornmeal is probably the easiest to see. And guys, I don't mind you talking to each other, but can you just keep it down a little bit so that everyone can hear? Thank you. So now we'll take a look at it up close on the black paper. See if we see anything more. Does anyone know another powder in there by looking at that? How about in the orange goggles back there? I'm sorry, what?
Sugar.
That's a really good guess, but it's something that looks like sugar. So why don't we move on to the next step to see what it is. So we're going to add a few drops of water into it.
We're doing great on time.
Are we?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you timing us now?
And we have a time too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, does anyone know what the other powder is now that we were looking for? Do you guys want to just shout it out? I heard a lot of stuff, but the right answer was gelatin. It got all goopy. And the thing with gelatin is, it looks almost the same as sugar up close, except it's a little yellower. It is crystally too. So that's kind of confusing. But we are going to see sugar too, so you'll see the difference.
I thought it was salt.
Now let's add some vinegar. Make sure you're separating to a new plastic cup. Okay guys, I'm guessing you probably all know what powder it is, so what is it? Good job. So now do we have all three of them? Alright, so now I guess we'll do the last experiment with iodine, just to make sure we maybe didn't miss anything.
Hey Mason, do you want to grab me a new stack of cups? These ones are all wet. I don't want to mess up my powders.
There's a garbage for me, just so you know.
Oh, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
So gross.
Alright, does anyone think they found a new powder in the cup?
Just grabbed a whole bunch.
Thanks.
Okay, I think that's a good response. Most of you didn't raise your hand. There's nothing else in there. Actually, there's only going to be 3 powders maximum in a cup. I'm not going to give you more than 3 powders. Okay, so how many powders do we have in this cup then? 3. Alright. Were they those 3? Cool. You guys ready to move on to the next one? Alright.
I'm so excited.
Vial 3, we're going to look at the powder that we took off of Sia. All the suspects were baking today.
Someone making bread. Cold bread.
So take a look at just the cup without a magnifying glass.
Oh, someone's gonna have a question. Oh, maybe.
Alright, so can anyone give me an adjective to describe this cup? In the green? Yes, white. What about a different one? You? Yeah, like crystally, sparkly maybe? And does anyone have anything else they might see? About way back in the pink. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yellow.
Good, yeah, there's a little bit of yellow in there too. And that's what I want you guys to notice. It's just barely yellow though. Can anyone already tell me what powder that means? With the heart on your shirt? I'm sorry, what? Did you say flour? It's a good guess, but it's not quite. Flour's more brown, I guess. I get what you're saying. How about you? I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, cornstarch is one of them in there. And another way you can tell is because it left a bunch of like dust on the side of the cup. If you don't see cornstarch yet, don't worry because I wasn't even expecting you to see it yet. So why don't we add some water to the cup and see what happens?
Oh no. It didn't fall.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay, so did it get really goopy, maybe just kind of turn solid? Something in that area? Now that's another sign of the powder you guys already said, cornstarch, but it's also a sign of a different powder. What about you, the Detroit Tigers? Yes. There's also gelatin mixed in. You can see the crystals are from the gelatin and it's faint yellow. So I guess we can move on and add vinegar now just to see what else will happen.
A little bit behind. I think I skipped a step.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think you just didn't change the slide.
Whoops. Did I tell them to look at it on black paper?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I'm going to do that next then.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I skipped a step, but we're going to stay with the slide we're on. Vinegar. Did anything exciting happen? Did it just get more goopy, more cloudy? Okay, we're going to backtrack a little bit and look at it up close. I'm sorry I missed that part. We're going to look at it on black paper. If you haven't done that already. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Oh, I just splashed it everywhere.
Okay, so how many colors do we think is in this cup? How many votes for 1? How many votes for 2? How many votes for 3? It's half and half. If you look it up close, you can see that there is a third powder.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Can anyone tell me what it is? The bright blue there? You say powdered sugar? That's really close, but it's not that one. What about you in the black? Yes, it's actually granulated sugar. On the test, I'm never going to mix together powdered sugar and granulated sugar just because they're kind of hard to tell apart. I'll make it really obvious which is where, so don't stress too much about that, okay? And we're going to skip ahead again and do the iodine.
I know, they're all like little shames.
What?
He said these children are going to be geniuses like you. Okay. Oh, I like to stir my iodine.
Alright, so what happened here? Hold on.
It's really hard.
Alright, so with the iodine, what color did it turn? Black. Does anyone know what powder that means? Does anyone just want to shout it out? Good job. Now the difference, powdered sugar and cornstarch look a little like similar, and a few other powders, but you can tell it's cornstarch because it turns black. And I had a question, how do you tell the gelatin and the sugar apart? I'd say if you look really close, you're going to see the difference in color, but that's kind of hard. If you have sugar by itself, it's just going to dissolve. If you have gelatin, it's going to turn into goop. I'd say that's a really tough mixture. So if I give that to you on the test, it's going to be like one of the hardest things you do. Does that make sense? And there's differences in the iodine color, but that's kind of something you just have to look at because I can't describe. They're all really similar colors, just slightly different. So overall, how many powders did we find? So we found 3, and do they look like these powders? Good. Now that was a really hard one. And actually, all of these are really hard, I should let you know. I'm not going to mix powders on every single cup at the competition. That's something I'll promise you, because that will take longer than the time you have. So we're going to move on to number 4. And that is the powder recovered from suspect number 4, Taylor Swift. Just take a moment to get your yourself situated and organized and take a look at the cup from far away.
I'd fire anything. I don't know.
Alright, can anyone see one powder that's here already? How about we just shout it out? I heard